on this quite bright and sunny Monday morning, which is lovely. Finally, spring may be here. It's meant to be officially spring on the 20th. It is the 18th today, so it's a little bit early, but it is long awaited. It's been lots of blue sky out. It's cloudy. It's not that warm when the sun's not shining, but when the sun comes out, it's really lovely, and I'm very, very happy about it. So I hope you're all well. A good morning to Rachel. Good morning to Jan, who says it's also quite bright and sunny. Good morning to Phoenix. Hello to Anastasia. Hello to you all who's just coming. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning to Star. Hello again, Jan. So hello, Carol. So today I'm going to be making some earrings with you. I'm just playing about. So in terms of kind of the kits or the materials that you need, you can just choose whatever you want. I've got about 4 colours of different pearls that I've been using for my samples, but there is a little bundle on the website if you'd like to get a little bit of a mix. And the main focus of this design is these gorgeous little curved spacer tubes that I'm using. So they're 20mm in size, and you can buy packs of those and you can do whatever you like with them. I think they lend themselves to a little bit of creativity. You can do whatever you want, just have a little bit of a play. I'm just using Tigertail, some culottes and some crimp beads. Let me just make sure I've got my crimp beads to hand, and some ear wires. So you could do whatever you wanted with these. If you wanted to use wire with them, then you could. They have got quite a large drill hole through the middle of them, but you can do whatever you want with them. And I think because I'm using the Tigertail and the tubes, you can be really creative, but it's also really easy to kind of get that symmetrical look with the earring, as long as you're adding the same onto one as you are with the other. It's a really nice make. So I'm going to say good morning to you all, because I've got you all flooding in now, which is lovely. Good morning to Tracy. Hello to Sue. It's also sunny where Sue's watching. Good morning, Debbie. How are you doing? Janet is in as well. She says it's sunny in Perth in Scotland. Good morning to Mina. Anastasia says it's at 48 degrees today. Really? She says it's 6 a.m. in Atlanta, Georgia, USA. Thank you so much for being with me so early. Good morning to Joanne. She says, good morning. Hope you've all had a wonderful weekend. Hello to Pauline, who's also having a lovely bright Monday. Phoenix says, I love those tubes. I wire wrapped one to make a necklace with lots of advice from our Natalie, and it worked out a treat. Good morning to Camille. She says she can see blue sky peeping through. How was my weekend? Weekend was good, thank you. I had a show on Saturday, so I travelled down to the studio on Friday. I had a lovely show, lots of giggles, lots of lovely things made. And then Sunday, it's my little one's birthday next week, so we had a little brunch at a local venue, which it's gorgeous. It's a big hall. They do like weddings and functions and things now, but it used to be a place where nuns used to reside. So I'd never ever been before, even though it's very local. So it was really, really nice. Had a lovely kind of breakfast or brunch. And he really enjoyed himself and got his face painted like a tiger. And then I treated my car to some new tyres. It was really exciting. Just getting ready for this week. He's got a performance this afternoon. He's in the school band, so I'm going to go watch him singing, which I'm very much looking forward to. And in between now and then, I'm just going to be making sure I've kind of started to organise the birthday presents for him and decorations, and I've got lots of making to get done as well. So just going to have a busy old day, but it's going to be lovely because the sun's shining and it just makes everything feel a whole lot brighter and better, doesn't it? Good morning to Yolanda. She says, happy Monday, everybody. Hope your weekend was great. Well, that was mine in a nutshell, Yolanda. I hope yours was too. And Elaine says good morning as well. So I'm going to take you over to the website very quickly. We can have a little look at the different components that I'm using today. You might have bits and bobs in your stash, as in like the Tigertail and culottes and things like that, and your ear wires. It's mainly today is focusing on the tubes and the lovely beads. So I'll show you what we've got and you can see what you would like to get and play along with me. So we are on totallybeads.co.uk. I'm heading into the video tutorial category here. You can see all our recent lovely makes, and today is the Katie tube earrings. So if I can click in, there we go. You can see some of the designs that I've been making. There's lots of different things you can do with these. And although I'm using the same components as in those tubes and the same size glass pearl, they all look very, very different. And that's just because I'm just playing about with them, and I like a make where you can be a little bit free to do whatever you wish. But if you would like to get them, you can do all of these designs, and I'm probably sure an awful lot more. And as Phoenix says, you can wire wrap onto them as well if you like. You could do all sorts of different things. So these are the components today. You've got your ear wires, so they're lovely. They are flat ear wires with a little ball. I think they look a little bit more fancy having that kind of flat ear wire with them, and they are very, very comfortable. They are nickel free. You're getting 20 pairs of earrings, earring hooks to make earrings on, and they're just £1.50. We just put the silver coloured ones on the page for you today because I'm matching them to the metal tubes. The pearls that I'm using are the glass pearl rounds, and they are 4mm in size. You could use larger, you could use a larger pearl. I'll show you how you could, change up the sizes with some of these. But I think the 4mm is a really nice size, and it fits quite nicely on top of the little tube. So the colours that I've used in my designs are the cobalt, the pastel green, the plum, and the rose pink. And they are £1.20, and you're getting loads and loads and loads and loads on your strand. If I click in these, it might say how many you're likely to get. So it's 16-inch or 40cm string, and you're getting approximately 100 beads on there. And the hole is approximately 1mm in size, so it's a nice sized hole, drill hole in your beads as well. If you'd like to get them, do so. But if you're thinking, I want different colours, then look at this. We've put a bundle on for you today. You get 10 strings and colours for £6.99. Now they should be £12 if you were getting them individually. But look at all them. So it says this pack contains 10 strings of 4mm glass pearls in 10 colours. So you're going to get approximately 100 beads per string. So what's that? Is that like 1,000 beads? I'm not great with maths, but I think so. There you go. Well, there it says approximately 1,000 beads per pack. Now the colours might vary. It is going to be according to stock, but you are going to get a nice varied selection. So here they've put for you like a lovely kind of rainbow colourway in those 10 strands. So you will likely get a blue strand. It might not be this exact blue. You might get kind of a cornflower blue or a royal blue or a space blue. We've got lots of different tones of each colour, but I think that is an absolute amazing deal. For £6.99 you could get 1,000 beads in 4mm glass pearls, and you can do all sorts with this size pearl. You can do stitch beading projects, you can use it for wire, you can add them into chainmail creations, you can do so much with them, and you can make so many different not just techniques but types of jewellery with them. So we've done bracelets, we've done necklaces, we've done anything you could possibly imagine. It's a really, really lovely size. They make, I think, nice kind of spacers as well if you wanted to add them in to some of your makes. So they are your 4mm bundle pack today for just £6.99. A really, really good deal there. And the only other thing I need to show you is these lovely silver curved tubes. Now this is my kind of feature, my focal piece on these today. So they are slightly curved. They're not hugely curved, which means it's really easy to get whatever you're doing through that hole. So whether you're doing, if you want to pop a ball pin through it, you can do, and you could just have them on their own as a little feature. You could add the tiger tail like I'm doing. You can use wire. Sometimes if something's really, really curved, it's really hard to feed it through, but it's just got that lovely slight curve to it. It's a nice thin metal, but it's extremely strong. I'm pushing and crushing this between my fingers as I'm speaking to you now, and it's not changing its shape at all. So the size on that is 30 by 3 millimeters. The hole in this is a 2 millimeter size hole, so it is really, really large. You're getting 30 pieces in your bag, and they are nickel free. So again, these would look lovely on a bracelet because you've got that slight curved. Do you know what? I think I'm going to go a bit rogue today. I'm probably going to make some pairs of earrings with you, but then I might make a bracelet or something completely different, just to show how you can really use these in so many different projects. They're £1.50. You're getting 30 pieces and it's £1.50. You can multi-buy on those. You can do whatever you like with them. So they are the products today. As I say, I'll scroll back up just so you can see those different designs. I've used 4 different designs. I did do another one actually with 5, but I've just added some ball pins and extra things into that. So I will take you down on the mat and I will show you how they look. If there's anything else that you wish to get, you can get that on the website as well if you don't already have it. Good morning to Elaine. How are you doing? Hi, Angela. She's in Plymouth. And I think, is the sun shining for you, Angela? I hope you've had a good weekend. I hope everything's okay for you. Good morning to Anne. She's in a sunny but cold North Yorkshire. Good morning to Facebook user who says, beading is keeping me sane as I recover from a broken neck. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. I hope you're okay. How you're beading with a broken neck. Are you doing anything with a broken neck? I do not know. I was sending you loads of love, whoever you are, Facebook user. You just recuperate quickly, and anything that you need in terms of your beading advice and your making, you just shoot us a message. Even if you can't do it right now, you might want to just start saving these tutorials and you can come back to it when you're feeling good. Phoenix says go well soon, Facebook user. Joanne saying love the peacock, Natalie. Thank you very much. I made a peacock design using some lovely gemstone nuggets and some little ball pins, and it was one of those makes where you sit and you do something and then you change it and then you change it again. It just kind of evolves. They were the best kind of makes where like this today, where you just sit and you be creative and you have lots of fun. Esther's saying good morning. Phoenix is saying ouch, new tires, pocket pain. Yeah, I mean, I've just got like a little micra. I refer to her as Bluebell because she's the beautiful blue colour. So she's not expensive to run. She's quite old, but she gets me from A to B. A being my house, B tending to be my mum's. I don't drive far with that. I don't go on the motorway. I'm a bit rubbish. I still need to get my confidence driving. But I loved bits. My husband's using it today while his car's getting sorted. So yeah, expensive, but needed. Trish says good morning. She's got an extra day off. How lovely. Good morning to Lisa, who's watching all the way in Florida. Camille saying, nice to have young ones and kiddies parties. My grandsons are too old. Half the time they don't want to hang out with the grandparents. Camille, I kind of had, just to go off on tangent, I had a little moment at the weekend when I was watching him join in the party games and playing musical statues, and I just thought, this might be the last one. Like, he's 6 on Monday, and when they're like 6 and above, they think they're more grown up than they are, don't they? And I thought you might not want to join in and do these like little things soon, and I got myself a little bit emotional over me coffee, like, but yeah, he's always going to be my baby. But yeah, they grow so quickly. Jan says she's got the tubes last week and already had lots and lots of pearls. Jan, share what you've done. If you've made with them already, please let me have a little look. Camille says she's made a multi-strand bracelet with them. Oh, see, loads you can do. Anastasia is sending everybody peace and love. Phoenix is having a little chit chat with Camille about kids growing up, and grandparents are always the best to spend time with. Yeah, he's never going to get bored of going to Nanny's. She spoils him an awful lot, so he's always very excited when he can stay at Nan's. Good morning to Anna. She's saying the makes today look lovely. Thank you so much. And yeah, Phoenix is saying a lovely ombre rainbow bracelet with that bundle would be amazing. Good morning to Star. Anastasia saying what a great price it is. They really, really are. And I know we've got a lot of people that watch all over the place. We do ship worldwide, and the shipping is usually really quite quick as well. And I don't think it's too expensive. So, we try, well, I say we, Simon and the warehouse team try and put the products together that they think you want, and they always, I think, give you the best price, a really fair price on things. Lisa says, nice, enjoying beading with off from surgery. I hope you're okay. Okay, so Camille says the tubes are the ones she made the multi-strand bracelet with. Good morning to Sharon. Oh, Facebook user is Anne from Washington in Tyne Wear. I hope you're okay, my lovely. Joanne saying I need the multi-bead pack. Oh my goodness, they're gorgeous. Hello to Barbara, how are you? Good morning to Catherine. And hello to Joanne, who's watching in Texas. So that's me saying good morning to you. I've shown you things on the website. Have a little look if you want to at totallybeads.co.uk. Today is the Katie Tube earrings, and here are they down on the mat for you. And we're just going to get making and playing about today. So I've done a few different designs. I put some little ball pins on the end of this. I wasn't quite happy with how they were sitting. It was just me having a little play about, but they do kind of slide, and I don't know whether I'd want them to as much, but you can see you can do all sorts of things with this. Most of them include 2 tubes. So if you had a larger size bead, you could put maybe a larger size bead on the bottom there as a focal, but that's really straightforward way of doing it. This was the original idea, where I was just using those lovely little 4mm just around that little tube, just to give that lovely kind of curved pear drop type shape. Good morning, Angel. I hope you're well. And hello to Joanne as well. Got lots of you in today, which is lovely. These, I really like these. They're kind of like a diamond type shape. It'd be handy if I got them in shot, wouldn't it? So I've just put the little bead at the bottom, and as long as my tiger tail is like quite taut, then that's going to stay in position. I really like the shape of those. And I think these ones are really, really pretty as well. Again, just 3 little beads in the middle of my tiger tail or whatever beading thread I'm using, popped on the tubes and more little pearls, and then straight onto the cloth. Now you can use a jump ring if you want to hang those from as well. But the good thing with the cloths is they do have those little holes at the bottom. And then they can also just directly attach onto your ear wire hook. And these are your ear wires that we were showing you today with that lovely flat kind of section to it. So loads and loads of different things you can do. We're just going to have a little play about. There seems to be a little bit of a lag with my computer, so I'm going to do it nice and slow, and hopefully it keeps up. Anastasia says she's finally got her shipping problems fixed after speaking to everyone and the postal driver, so she's going to place her order today. And she was watching a video for a bracelet, and it was so lovely. Oh, well, I'm glad you're enjoying it. Oh, Angela says her dad's coming home today, and it's lucky because she's going to be home tomorrow. That's amazing news. I'm so pleased. So let's get making. What shall we do? I'll do these ones first. We'll just make a few. I'll just make one of each type, and then you can have a little look yourself. So I'm going to cut a length of tiger tail. I've cut probably about 15 centimeters. I don't need it to be particularly long, just it depends on how many beads you're putting on. So 15 centimeters is about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. I'm going to use my lovely tubed bead. So if I can show you how large that drill hole is, There is definitely a delay. And you can see there's just a very gradual curve on that. So, you could make necklaces with these, and you could make kind of a focal point at the bottom. I have used the tube before, but I don't think they were these ones. They were longer ones, and I made a necklace. I think I did the like rose wrapped flowers around them. So you can see they've got that lovely curve in them. So they do lend themselves, obviously, for lots of kind of curved jewellery like your necklaces, but also they fit really lovely against your wrist as well if you wanted to maybe do some bracelets with some beads and things in between. I'm just going to play about and see what happens. So the beads that I've got, they're all 4mm. I'm just going to take some off my strand. So I'm just going to cut open my strand, and I'm just playing about with it first. So if you want a bead stopper, you can use that, but I tend to just hold it up so I've got that kind of curve, and then those ends are kind of roughly meeting, which means I'm going to be aiming for the middle of my strand, and I'm just going to pop on my lovely beads. So I'm going to just go with 3 in the middle on this one. And as I say, using those same size beads, got a little bit of paint on colour on one end, but it doesn't matter. Using the same size beads and the same components on each of my earrings is going to mean I can make symmetrical earrings with like so super easy. Now I've put my beads on the middle, I'm going to put my tube. And you can position these how you want. I quite like the fact that they don't butt up to the bead. So if I put the beads on and then put my tubes on, depending on how I position this at the end, you'll see I can get it to kind of sit with those beads right in the middle. But I quite like it when there's a little bit of a space. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to just bring those ends together by adding a couple more beads, but onto both ends of the tiger tail. You'll be able to make a pair of earrings in minutes doing this technique. So obviously if I pull them together at the same time, then that's going to sit that bead there right in the middle, and that's going to make those 2 ends of that tube kind of butt up against the bottom of the pearl. And then going to add another one on, and you can play again with the length of how you'd like these. If you want them to be longer and more dangly, you can do. You can make pendants in this way as well. So I'm just popping both ends of the tiger tail through, and it's going up in the same direction. Now play around with how you want them. If you wanted to count that curve to go outwards, you'd position it now. That's quite nice. I quite like that. So you can see it's exactly the same, only I've just turned the tubes kind of the curve facing in rather than the curve facing out. If I turned it that way, you've got that shape with it. I think I'm going to turn it that way. All I need to make sure I'm doing is pushing that bead up close, and that will stop it turning. So now I'm going to add on my culotte, and the culotte is going to go through onto both ends of the tiger tail. I'm not too concerned if it moves a little bit at the moment, because when I pop my crimped bead on, that's going to hold it all in place. I'm going to use 2 crimps, which are I think they're like 2mm in size, and I'm going to put 2 crimps on just to make it extra sturdy. I don't need to bring that tiger tail back through. That will be sufficient enough. But you can see there I've got lots of, like, a couple of inches of tiger tail left over, so I don't need that much. So it's a good way of using maybe some little offcuts that you might still have. I always say keep your offcuts of the tiger tail or your beading thread, because you can use it again for projects like this, or maybe some kind of fringed beaded projects. So I've slotted my culotte into place. It is down at the bottom of those beads. My crimp bead is inside of it, and I'm just going to flatten it down. Now, what I would also suggest is think about maybe which way you'd like these to hang, because the way you position your culotte. So if my culotte is facing this way, I can attach it directly onto the earring hook and it's going to face forward. If I want it so it sits at the side, I'm just going to turn that culotte round a little bit. So I've popped one on and then going to go on with the second, and that's just going to go straight down over the tiger tail again, and then with my pliers just going to give it a little flatten down. So if you can see, if I can get that nice and close, it's quite shiny, but those two culottes in there are now sitting flat. Phoenix is saying, are you using fold over crimps or the other type? You could probably fold these over. If you've got a crimping tool, it will fold it over. I just push mine flat because it's holding the tiger tail, the beads and the culotte in place, and that's not moving. So these ones that I use off Totally Beads, I just kind of flatten them down. But you can use whatever you want. If you want the ones that kind of, I know what you mean, it kind of folds it in half over it as well. You can use whatever findings you want. I'm now just closing that culotte over slightly with my finger. I'm going to position them that way. And then I'm just going to press it together just to fold it and to have it nice and neat. So those two little holes at the end are all perfectly lined up. And then I'm just going to open up my ear wire by giving it a tiny little flick, thread that on, and close it back over. So you can see in a matter of minutes, I've made an earring. So if you are making jewellery to sell, these are a really good ones to have on your craft stall or your page or website, because you can advertise people that these are available for custom makes. People might think, I really love this design, but purple's not my colour. I'm more of a pink person or a green person, or I'd like them in kind of a rainbow. And you can custom make those to order, and it takes you literally minutes. Good morning to Kath. How are you doing? Phoenix is saying hello to you. So that's one design that looks like this. I'm going to use another one. I'm going to do this one for you now. So I'm just going to literally bang out a whole load of lovely earrings. I'll change the colour of my pearl. This time I'm going to use the pink. Again, you've got the opportunity of getting that lovely bundle as well if you want to. Now, in terms of how many beads I've used on this, it's entirely up to you. I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I counted right. I may have missed one. So all I'm going to do is just string on however many beads I want on to my tiger tail. All I would say is make sure you've got the same amount on one as you have for your next earring, and then you're going to have them matching. So really straightforward, just sliding on my beads. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to then just add on my lovely matte tube. And then I'm going to position it together just to kind of make sure I'm happy with the size. I think they're pretty. You also don't have to ensure that, they are being mirror image by working the other way. You can do exactly the same and then just flip it over. That tube I want to sit underneath that last bead. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my tiger tail ends up together so it's in the middle, and then I'm adding an extra bead over both ends of the tiger tail and then just pulling them up. So the tiger tail is going both ends through the same bead, and I'm then just going to give a gentle pull just to make sure that there's no kind of gaps in what I'm doing there. Phoenix is saying, Mina, try the heart chandelier ones Natalie made with clear crystals or a very delicate blue. Something blue, have a lovely sparkling, perfect for weddings. I've missed Mina's comment. Oh, she says, I've been struggling with earrings for wedding jewellery, so these would be nice. I think they would be particularly nice. And I think they would, yeah, they would. They'd all be really nice. Again, really, really quick makes. And yeah, you could make them in crystals, Phoenix. You could do whatever you wanted to. Anna says, when I go to order, it's coming up with the Amy Pearl necklaces. Has anyone else got that same problem? Yeah, we're going to need to amend that. Sometimes the link in the description might be for like the past live. If you just go onto the website rather than clicking on the link, Anna, it should just, if you go onto the tutorials, you can click on Katie Tube earrings, which is today, and that should take you through to all the products here. So again, think about which way round you want that culotte to sit. Think I want this facing forward. So I'm sliding that on. I'm going to put my crimp beads on, just the one for now. You can stagger the ends of your tiger tail if it's easier to get it through. But they've got a nice large hole as well. Now, once I've got that bead on, I'm just going to make sure that I'm pulling up on both ends of those tiger tail pieces, because it can move and we want to make sure everything's sitting nice and flush together. I apologise, my finger's in the way at the moment, just so I can kind of hold it in place. So sometimes I'll bend the tiger tail around the back of my finger just to get it out of the way. And when I'm happy with where everything's positioned, then I will squish down that crimp bead. And I'm not squishing it down until everything is in its position, because obviously if it's not, then that will just keep it in place, in the wrong place. I'm then going to add another crimp bead onto the top, and again, just with my pliers, giving it a little squish down, so those crimp beads are sitting on top of each other and are both nice and flat. Coming in with my cutters, trimming off the excess tiger tail, then folding down with my finger first, just to make sure that my culotte is fairly lined up. And then with a pair of pliers, pair of chain nails or whatever, just a gentle push on that rounded section of the culotte is going to push these two parts nice and flat up together. And that is my next earring. Again, if I want to, I can add it onto a little jump ring, and that might give it a little bit more oscillation or movement. I'm just going to then slide it directly onto the earring hook, and there you go, another earring made in absolute minutes. I'll do might as well do all the designs, mightn't I, for you, and then we can get on to making a bracelet or something. So this one here is what I'm going to do. Have I done that one? I did that one already. No, I didn't. No, I didn't. It's exactly the same as this one, just use less beads. So as I say, you could use a larger bead in this part if you wanted to. And you can mix up your colours if you're going to be using, if you're going to get that bundle, or you've got some beads in your stash. So one little bead onto the middle. This time I'm going to use two of my lovely tubes, one on one side, one onto the other. And it's creating that kind of V shape at the moment. So the only difference here with, say, this one and this one is I'm adding beads onto this section on each end of the tiger tail before I pull it back up through the main one. Whereas this one, it's just going straight up through the main one. So that will depend on how you position those tubes as well. So I want this one to sit right in the middle to give it that kind of pointed effect. Then I'm just going to be pulling it up. If I want it to sit like this, then they can just sit at either side of it. So I'm going to do slightly different in terms of the beads on top. So I'm going to go back with my 4mm pearl, both ends of the tiger tail, going up through the bead, and then adding as many beads as I want to in whatever colours I want to. Again, if you were using 3 beads at the top. You could put a larger one here, maybe a 6mm round, and then a larger 6mm round there in the same colour if you wanted to. I think the 4mm just make them fairly dainty. Both Tigertail ends going right up through. Happy with my positioning on everything. And then again, on with my calotte. Taking that Tigertail up both strands. Pushing it down so everything's in position. Taking my first crimp bead. Sitting it over both. Checking everything is where I want it to be. My calotte is facing the direction that I want it to. And then flattening down. So I'm trying to get that crimp bead to be as close to the bottom of the calotte as I possibly can. And then the second crimp bead, I mean, it's really, really light wear earrings because you've got those hollow tubes. You know, you probably don't need double crimp, but I always like to just for peace of mind. That crimp bead now sits directly on top of the last one. All I'm doing there is giving it a little push, and you see how it's gone from a rounded shape to a flat. And that's now holding everything in place. Coming in with my cutters, trimming off the excess, closing it down with my fingers, and an extra little push. So this is also creating kind of like a bead at the top. Good morning, Iris. She's almost missed you. Dog needed his morning constitutional, so to speak. I love the look of the earrings. I like that phrase, Iris. You've taken him out for a little walk, have you? Or hair. Again, sliding on directly onto the earring hook. And you can play about with the design there. I'll do these ones as my last design for you. But you can play about, you can do whatever you like. You know, these would look really nice with a mix of colours, I think, as well. So you could do some kind of rainbow coloured jewellery if you wanted to add different beads into that. But as I say, especially for you, Mina, who I know, you know, has regular craft stalls, it's always nice, I think, if you're making something at your craft stall. It brings people over, they get intrigued with what it is you're doing. It means they can come and have a nose, and you can draw people over to your stall without them having to feel like you're going to do the hard sell, because you're busy making. And when you say you're busy making, it's really straightforward. So they could be having a little look, you could be sitting at your stall, you could go, hello, what would you like? Is there any particular colours you're interested in? And they could say, oh, I'm not sure. And then you could sit and make in whatever colours they think that they like. If you say, well, what's your favourite colour? And then they can see you making them a bespoke pair of earrings there and then. And it's taking you, what, 2 minutes? So it's not even like you have to say, oh, well, I can do you a custom order, but you're going to have to come back at a later time. It's going to take you absolute minutes. And I think people like to watch you do it. You know, you could probably buy earrings like this online from a whole host of different retailers. But if people see you actually making them by hand, then they know they are handmade. You know, you're not in a factory somewhere with hundreds of people. It's just you and your creativity. So for this one, I'm just going to pop, I've got a really long length of Tigertail there. I don't know why I cut it so long. But again, I can use my extra offcuts for various things. I'm going to pop my curved tubes onto each side again. And this time I'm going to add maybe 3 or 4 onto each side. So they're not going on the same side of the Tigertail. I'm holding the Tigertail kind of up together, which means I'm definitely getting kind of the centre. And then I'm just going to pop 4 of my 4mm pearls onto one side and 4 of my 4mm pearls onto the other side. Mina says, Natalie, I sold 2 of the girls' necklace using diamond tube, so it was a happy day. Oh, I'm really pleased. I'm really, really pleased. Do you know, I do like those diamond tube necklaces. They like, I mean, how lovely would it be to use these in the diamond tube necklaces? So you could have, you know, sections with just your metal tube and others with your diamond tube. There's loads of stuff you could do. I mean, you could add another tube onto the top of this if you wanted it even longer. All I'm going to do now is I'm going to take one bead and I'm threading it through both ends of the tiger tail. So the tiger tail's going up in the same direction, and then I'm pulling gently on both. And this part here, you just have to make sure you are pulling on both ends of the tiger tail to get that in position. Now, if I want this to sit at the end, I'm moving my tubes now. So I'm holding my tubes up, kind of giving it a little pinch. So I'm putting a little bit of pressure on that bead here to get this neat and in position. And then I'm just pushing my tube up. It's hard to do while under the camera. So I'm just going to hold it with my fingers and then reposition this at the top because it wants to kind of move out of place. But I do like it when it's giving that kind of flush finish like that. Again, when I'm happy, I'm going to take my culotte. I'm going to have to let go of it because I haven't got my crimp beads out. Slide in that really, really long length of tiger tail. Don't know why I cut it so big. I've got enough for another pair of earrings coming off the top of that. It will all move out of position at the moment. That's okay. I'm going to get my crimp beads and I'm going to slide one over both. And then I want to reposition everything before I crimp it down. So again, I'm going to pull on both ends of the tiger tail. I'm going to position those tubes so they sit here on the pearl. So your pearl is round, but if it wasn't and it had corners, I'd be in the top corner of it. And I'm just pulling it, trying to get it nice and taut. And then when I'm happy with my positioning, again, crimping down, and that's going to hold it in place in the shape that I want. Add an extra crimp bead on. Make sure it's sitting on top of the last crimp bead, nice and flush. Press it down, chop off the excess, and then I'm just folding over the crimp bead, the culotte, sorry, and then attaching it to my ear wire. Like so. So lots of different designs. I'm going to do a bracelet, I think, just why not? So I'm going to take a few lengths of my tiger tail. I might do a double row. So I'm just going to cut some off my reel. Now there's a few bends in my tiger tail here. If this ever happens, what I tend to do is I just run it through my nails. I don't mind it being curved, but if it's got any kind of bends in, it can sit a little bit funny. I'm going to cut off just more than the circumference that I want because I like using some extra. And then cut another one off. Camille says, oh, getting brave, Natalie. Why, what am I doing? Mina says she's been making wedding jewellery this week when she was home. Let's do these. I love the colour of this pearl. This is kind of, I think it was technically called, it's like a green. What is it called? A pastel green. But I don't really know whether they are pastel green. They're not, they're like an off-white, if that makes any sense. They are pastel green, but it depends, I suppose, what you put against them, if you're using any other beads or crystals. So I'm going to use these ones for now. I think I'm going to add, I think I'm going to do my Collot and Crimp bead first. Usually if I'm not sure of the design that I'm using, I kind of start in the middle and work my way out. But if it does need changing, then I can always just trim it off and attach another one. But this kind of acts as my bead stopper as well. Have a lovely day, Phoenix. I will see you soon. So I'm gonna just pop on my Collot onto both ends of the tiger tail. If you want to bring the tiger tail back down through your pearls or whatever it is you're using, you can do that. Sometimes that makes it a little bit more secure. What I mean by that is I would leave a little length, I would crimp, and then I would fold the tiger tail back through the hole in the Collot in the other direction and then make it run through the beads. If you're not wanting to bring it back, then I just slide it up right to the end. Again, double crimping, so just flattened those crimps out. I'll slide my Collot up, fold it over with my fingers, and I'll probably attach a little lobster clasp or something onto it. So I don't really know what I'm doing right now. I'm just playing about and seeing what happens. I'm gonna add one pearl onto both ends. And then, should I add the blue with this as well? This might be quite nice. I'll separate them out again. And you can add all sorts of different things. Let's see if I sit them that way. Or do I add the tubes on? I wonder if I stagger it. So I wonder if I put 3 onto one and then a tube. And then with the other, where's my tubes gone? I might put tube first onto the other. And then the pearls. So you could have 2 different pieces running along like so. You could bring them back up together if you wanted by bringing them back through a pearl. I don't know what this is going to look like, but I think this is why I quite like, having just the products on the page so you can choose what you want to do. I think that would look quite nice. In fact, I kind of like that as a necklace feature at the bottom and then attach it with some chain. So I might do that. This time I'm going to put, I think I'll keep going in that same order. So I'll use 3 on one side. And then the tube. And then the tube. and another 3 pearls. Yeah, Jan says you could use it as a feature. I think it might be nice as a necklace feature. So you could do a full necklace with this design, or you could maybe just add some jump rings and a bit of chain and have it as Jan says, in the middle as a feature. Push them down together. And that will be held in place by my tiger tail going through both ends. Ooh, I really like this. See, sometimes I have an idea in my head and I'll put it together. I made a necklace the other week. I've not scheduled it at all yet. And I made a necklace and I thought it's nice and the beads that I'm using are lovely, but it's too easy. It's just bead stringing, and sometimes I really like an easy make, but I was like, I want to do more with it. So I started just playing about. And at first I was like, the idea's there, but the execution wasn't, shall we say. I was like, no, there's an idea there, but it needs tweaking. And I just played around with it. And I think that is the joy of making. I don't always have time to be able to play and to, I'll be like, I need to have this ready and it needs to be exactly the same for a tutorial so you can duplicate it if you want to. But actually just being able to say, well, these are the components we're working with, and I need a different coloured pearl on that, and you can do whatever you want with it, just lends itself to be to just have that freedom really to be able to play about and create. Yeah, Camille saying you could use it as a feature in the middle of your bracelet. You definitely could. I'm really liking that. Looks a little bit more expensive, I think, than it obviously is going to be. And you think when we go looking at these components for your pearls, if you want 1,000 pearls in 4mm in a variety of colours, it's £6.99. How many pearls am I using? And the most amount of pearls I've used is like 24, I think, on one pair of earrings. Your tubes are 30 pieces in a pack for £1.50, and your earrings are 20 pairs, not 20 pieces, 20 pairs for £1.50. So, you can afford to play around with these and be creative. Like, if I make this and think that's not working, I don't like it, what really ever wasted? Nothing. I could always just cut off my culotte and start again. Anastasia says this would be beautiful as a necklace and bracelet set plus the earrings. I mean, I've missed a trick, haven't I? I should have put it together as an earrings and necklace today. Done bracelet and necklace for another one. But when I'm saying I'm playing around with something in whenever I schedule it, a couple of weeks, I've put something together that I'm going to be making a necklace and a bracelet, and it's going to have two very different techniques and components, but it's gonna have the same beads. So I will do that over 2 lives because I won't be able to show you both in one live. But I'll speak to Simon and see if we can do it so you buy the kit if you wish to, and that will do you for 2 different designs. It will come with everything, but I'll do one on the Monday and one on the Friday. So all I'm doing here is just playing about. If I need to push things up and move it into position, I can do. I think I might add one more section on, because if it is going to be a feature in the middle of a necklace, I quite like having an odd number to work with, so I have a central point. Now, I've not been swapping over the side in which I'm putting the beads on first, and then the tube, I've kept that so the beads are going first and then the tube on the top row, and on the bottom row it will be the tube and then the beads. And I think that's just going to give it like this nice crisscross effect. But you know, you are getting 30 pieces of the tube in here, so you really are going to have quite a lot left over, so you'll be able to do your earrings and whatnot as well. Mama, have a lovely, lovely day. Enjoy spending time with your friend, and I hope she likes her earrings. Let me know if she does. So I'm now adding on my last little component. Gonna add another bead. You don't have to even change the colour of your pearls here. This would look nice with all the same. I'm just going to pull up the ends of my tiger tail here. I just want to make sure everything is sitting as I want it to be. So I'm having my pearls at the end of my tube, so that kind of greenish coloured, pastel green was it called, that's going to sit right in the middle of both of the tubes. And then I'm going to get a clot out of my pack. Sliding both ends of the tiger tail up through the clot. Sliding on my first crimp bead. Making sure one last time everything's in the position that I want it to be. And give it an extra pull up if need be. Crimping my crimp bead. And adding on the next one. Doing the same. Flattening that down. Trimming off the excess tiger tail nice and close to the top of that crimp, so it's not sticking out the end of the clot when I fold it over. And then all I need to do is attach that to whatever I'm attaching it to. I'm going to make it as a necklace kind of feature, so I would add 2 of my jump rings. I mean, you could, if you had the longer length of tiger tail, you don't have to have the cloth there. You could just bead 1 row of beads, maybe mixing the colours of your beads, and do like a strung necklace going up. If I'm attaching the jump rings to it, then I could just add like a chain necklace, which would run along the back of my neck. So I'm just opening up my jump ring ever so slightly and then closing it up again. So that would be my kind of necklace section. I could wear it if I wanted to as a bracelet, like so. It's kind of going to give it like a bangle kind of effect if I had it as a bracelet, because I've got those curved tubes. That looks really, really lovely. I would personally get your tube packs, and you could do all sorts. I think that actually makes a really lovely bracelet. Obviously, I'd need to add on a little clasp, so maybe a little lobster clasp or something. And then I've got a lovely bracelet, a nice section of a necklace, and a whole array of different earrings to match. You could also, as I said to you earlier, if I've got a ball pin to hand, you could do something extremely simple by taking a bead, maybe popping it onto your ball pin, adding on your curved tube, and then doing a little wrap loop at the top, and then just having like little tube earrings. You could take an eye pin and you could do a double connector on the end, and you could row them up, or just have it as a feature in the middle of a bracelet. The possibilities with these are absolutely endless. I've really enjoyed just being creative today and playing around with various different designs, and I hope you've enjoyed playing along with me too. If I've got any questions, please drop a question for me or any comments, and I'll have a little look at them now. Joanne says, that's really nice. I'd wear a bracelet like that. I don't wear much jewellery. I just like making it. Oh, and Camille's going to send me a picture of a bracelet. So, today we've been showing you various different things. I really love using them like that. Various different things with these tube connectors. They are Katie tube earrings in the tutorial description, but you don't have to do earrings with them. You can do necklaces, bracelets, whatever you want. Your ear wires for 20 pairs of £1.50. There is a bundle of 4mm, 10 different colours, little bundle of 4mm pearls for £6.99. Or you could buy the colours that I've been using today in the cobalt, the pastel green, what was the purpley one called? Plum, or rose pink. They're just £1.20 a strand, and I think you get 100 pearls on there. And of course, those silver curved tube spacers, which are 20mm with a 2mm hole. That is 30 pieces of your curved tubes for just £1.50. So lots to play with. Oh, thank you, Esther. That's really kind of you. Mina says, lovely tutorial. Esther says, brilliant as always. Rachel's given me a heart. Anastasia, Natalie, what size thread have you used? When I work with Tigertail, it never works out for me. I think, Anastasia, it is a 0.4. Let me have a... That's not right. Let me have a look for you. It is a 0.45mm Tigertail beading thread. You can use anything, but I always use Tigertail because I love it. So it is basically, I think it's 7 pieces of very fine wire, which is then bound together, so it makes a 0.45mm in this case, and then it is coated with like a nylon coating, so it makes it very flexible, very durable, but also gives a nice curved kind of effect to many things that you're making. This is a necklace. What else have I missed? Iris says, glad I got home in time. Oh, fabulous, you talented lady. Thank you so much. That's very kind of you. Jan says, I might use this design for earrings if that's okay. Yes, Jan, it's more than okay. That's what we're here for. Anything you see on Totally Beads, you can do. You can do yourself. You can call it the same thing. You can sell your makes. We are simply here to inspire you, and if you want to buy our products so you can work with exactly the same things, then that is our bonus. I would be more than delighted, Jan, if you used that design. I'd be made up if you used that design, because obviously you've enjoyed it. And if you sit and watch and think, I don't want to do that, then I'm failing and I'm not doing my job. So please do, Jan. Joanne says, lovely tutorial, makes stay. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. You're very welcome. Camille says, thank you for playing with us today. Have a nice time. Sort my little one's birthday. I've got to make him a bracelet, actually. He seems to be very intrigued by magnetic clasps at the moment, and he's watched me making things and be like, can I have one of them? So as much as I have got to do lots of making, I think that's what I'm going to do right now. I think I'm going to make him a bracelet. Joanne, you're very welcome. Thank you so much. She says they're beautiful. Have a lovely day. Star says thank you. You're most welcome. Facebook user says lots of ideas for me to play with. That's Anne from Washington. Oh, you're all lovely. Ah, stop being so lovely. Thank you so much for being with me today. I've enjoyed being with you. I love having a play along with you. And I will be back with you on Friday. What am I doing on Friday? Oh, I'm making bracelets on Friday. I've named them Sally after me Nana. And they are lovely. Little bit of wire. I think I'm doing spacers and 2 sizes of pearl with them. Might be 2 shapes as well. But yeah, really, really lovely. So please come and join me on Friday if you wish to do so. I hope you all have a lovely week, and I hope the sun still stays shining where you are.